When we hear like Laura Ingram, hey, just dribble for us, LeBron. You know what you get paid to do. You know why you made the money in the first place. Shut up and dribble. Or we hear Bias in the Booth by Dylan Gwynn, and he was criticizing athletes for being proactive in their communities. And I'm one of the people that would say you don't have to, but when you do, you should, or when you can, you should. And
Right.
the people with the most influence, unfortunately, in our community, happen to be the athletes and the entertainers. And they're the ones right now that can move the meter. I happen to think that we're 2 or 3 generations away from that. And we may not see that in our lifetime, but the people that can move the meter need to move it.
Absolutely. And we could be upset with the comments of shut up and dribble, which is a very natural reaction, right? It's unrealistic to any person of color or any person in a minority category, right? There's no choice. I have to change the expectations, because when I go to the bank to negotiate a $1.2 million deal for a property, which I'm putting 70% equity in, I don't want to spend 20 minutes with the banker asking me how it was that I figured out how to invest in stocks. What? I'm here to spend money, right? I'm here to do a deal. I'm not here to waste time. But where we go beyond and where we really create connections is when someone says, shut up and dribble. Go ahead and have an immediate reaction if you would like, but know that that's not the only reaction. What's her experience, right? That's my question. When people say something, I always think to myself, what's your experience? I went through a transformational experience in high school. We went down to Nogales, Mexico, and Arizona, and we split time on the border. And it was an immigration trip just to learn about immigration, and it was through my high school. And I went down there as, they're taking our jobs. I want to figure out how and why, right? Well, when I got there, I realized that multiple companies across our border pay coyotes, or as they call them, coyotes, to ferry people across the border. And at which point they have to work off their debt before they're released. So who's really doing this, right? What's the experience of a person who says, shut up and dribble? 75% of Americans do not have an African-American friend. And one of the things in sports that we forget is in sports, Peyton couldn't have an issue with me being Muslim, because on 3rd and 12, guess what? It doesn't matter.
Sure.
And when we get down to it, it doesn't matter. But did the person who said, shut up and dribble, was she on a team that was diverse? Did she experience laughing at a different culture's, comedy and humor? These are things that you can ask yourself to create a deeper conversation, because reactions don't create change, right? Reactions just do not create change. Targeted conversations, targeted action, that creates change, not a reaction. And so when somebody says, shut up and dribble, I say, I would love to get you around a community of people that look different than you. I'd love for you to try Ethiopian food, for example. I'd love for you to come to a Muslim dinner where you eat with your food and eat with your hands, right? I'd love for you to, do you speak another language? What's that person's experience? And the more we can say that, the more connection we'll create. Because when someone says, shut up and dribble, they have a low expectation of your capability. And that needs to be resolved. Not the words, but what is it that makes you think that my only responsibility is to be an athlete? I'm a husband, I'm a father. Where does that come into play in my life? How much more important is that than me being an athlete? And those are the kinds of experiences that we have to go through and create.